Great. Okay. So now we talked about operating concern, controlling area, profit center, legal entities, cost centers. Now there is another element called sales org. The sales org is a organizational structure that is the topmost element for sales and distribution module. So we will be connecting the financial module with sales and distribution module. So this is the place it integrates. So what we normally do, for each legal entity, there will be a, so for each legal entity, there will be a sales and distribution side element. We call it as a sales org, because that is the element used for sales and distribution to do their day-to-day business, like creating invoices and giving some discount, rebate, and pricing, invoice collection. All those things are happening in the sales and distribution module, which is sales org, sales organization element. That is nothing but a one-to-one relationship with your company code. The billings are happening here, the collections is happening in controlling. With the finance department's responsibility is to collect the money from the customer. But the invoices are created by a different department, different module, that is sales and distribution, that is sales org. So there is a tight integration between finance and sales. So the sales transactions are happening at sales org level, and the financial transactions, particularly the collections of money, banking related stuff with respect to that customer, is happening at the company code. So that is the relationship. So there is another element I'm introducing now. Apart from all these financial elements, this is the logistic elements. So understand, up to this is all financial elements. Now we are talking about other elements, how it is going to be integrating with our financial element. The first and foremost element is the sales org. This will integrate the entire sales and distribution module with the finance. So where it is connecting? At the company code level, the company code legal entity level, because all the transactions are happening at the legal entity level. That is where we are forming the financial statements. That is why we create the SD elements, sales and distribution elements, at controlling level. That is our company code is the control. So company code level, we create sales org. So that is to connect with the sales and distribution module. There again, we do the production. So where the productions are happening? At the plant level. Plant is nothing but the all the facilities, all the manufacturing units. Not only the manufacturing units, sometimes we define plant as a warehouse. Warehouse also treated as a plant. So wherever, so the logistic element where we do the manufacturing or inventory control. So those element is nothing but a plant. So when it comes to the definition of plant, what happens? We may have a multiple plants within one legal entity. So in one legal entity may have a multiple places where we can produce our goods or our products. See, if that is the case, we create multiple plants underneath one legal entity, one company code. That is why I just put it like this. There can be a possibility of creating multiple plants under one company code. So that means the plant is the smaller element compared to your company code. So understand the definition of plant. It is normally for the manufacturing or warehouse or any distribution storages or distribution centers we can create as a plant, and we connect the plant with our company code as a one to many. Underneath one company code can have multiple plants. So that is the structure. So now our financial elements connect to sales and distributions through sales org, and connect to our manufacturing logistics with plant. There again, one more element in the logistics side called purchase org, because the procurement is huge in the manufacturing industries or even trading business. Purchasing is another big area of your business transactions. So SAP handles that as a separate module. So the purchase org, it's again connect to your company code. So whenever there is a connection between your finance with other modules, normally we connect at the company code. Either directly or indirectly, we connect to company code for getting the transactions from other modules. So the purchase organization, normally this is belongs to material management module in SAP. So the purchasing org is another element which is the topmost element for the material management guys. For us is the integration point. So the purchase org is another element that can be one-to-one relationship with company code, or you can have one central purchase. For example, you have 50 different company codes, legal entities, but there is only one company code, or corporate is only one company code is authorized to buy or purchase on behalf of all the legal entities. Some companies operate in that way. That is called centralized purchase. If the company is adopting the centralized purchase, the recommendation is to have one purchase org, like your operating concern or controlling area, like that. Have one purchase org. In this example, I put it like a two. So sometimes you can have one purchase org connect to all the legal entities, so that it will be like a one to many relationship. What that means? One company code, or like a one corporate or globally, there is only one organization controls entire purchase. Any purchase order will be issued by only one corporate top level authority on behalf of all the legal entities globally. That is possible. In that mostly people are doing that nowadays, because I've seen in many implementations they go with one single purchaser so that they have a control everywhere. So we can design in such a way that one purchaser we will define and assign to all the legal entities, so that it will be like a central purchase. Okay. So this is what the organizational elements, and so we talked about chart of account, cost center, profit center, and so there are some more small elements called the fixed assets. So even though the fixed assets is within the finance, it's a robotic module. So it works specific to the country. So that is what I wanted to highlight you for now. I don't want to go for deep dive on fixed assets for now. Let's understand what is fixed assets. It is a module within the finance, and it is a robotic, and there are a lot of features in that. The reason is we have to calculate depreciation for all the assets used in our organization with some rules and regulations provided by government. So that is why it is little bit robotic, and we have to adhere to many rules and regulations of the country's regulations. And so that is the reason the fixed assets module, it works according to the country. So there is an element called chart of depreciation that we will define in the fixed assets, that is country specific. What that means, fixed assets module works according to country. So we need to have a multiple fixed assets element for each country. So for US, you need to have one fixed assets element called chart of depreciation for US. For Canada, if they are adopting different law, then we have to go with another um, chart of depreciation. So chart of depreciation is country specific. Sometimes some companies they adopt same rules and regulations what we use in US for Canada also. If that is the case, you have an option either to use two different chart of depreciation or one chart of depreciation that can be extended to both the countries if both of them are using the same regulations. So that is the key. So sometimes US companies, if they have a branch in Singapore, they use the same chart of depreciation. All the rules and regulations adopted in US is applicable to Singapore too. In that case, they don't have to go with two different chart of depreciation. They can use one and extend it to other countries where they are adopting the same rules. So that is the key to design your fixed assets. Now, there is another element called internal order. Internal order is like another cost object like our cost center, but this is like a temporary because normally the cost centers are like a permanent in nature because once you form the department, that is going to be there forever. But internal order is like like a temporary. You can use it and then you can discontinue. That is why the internal order. When it comes to the internal order, we'll go into the deep into the purpose of it. For now, understand internal order is a temporary cost object. Functional area, it's again an optional one. It is not a mandatory element. Functional area, if you can have the reporting in a different angle. So that is like a grouping of your GL accounts in a different purpose. So you can look at the financial statement in a different angle. Mainly, this is used for cost of sales accounting. So to analyze your cost of sales in a different angle, you can use the functional area. For now, don't worry about that. Don't put too much emphasis on the functional area for now. So that is an optional one. Don't worry about that part. So when you get into SAP, now we are in S4 HANA. Now it is all like a very much improved. It's all like a web-based now. So you will be accessing the system like this. You will see the system like this. So this is how your Fiori apps are going to be displayed. But this is for the users. But you are a consultant. You have to create all the setup, master data, and the configuration, everything. That is actually a different screen. This is for the users. But see, this is how you will be testing it. And this is the screen normally given to the users of SAP. So it's all like a small apps. Then for example, the GL changes, GL account creation. So it's like a GL overview. All these are like a small tiles. So you just click this tile, it will take you to that particular screen like this. What is that? So like this, you will see the individual screens. Okay, let's go back and we'll go in the right way. Okay, so this is the you can even create a favorites, all those stuff like you can play with this, you can enjoy this tiles and then organize, reorganize, all these are possible. So now when it comes to the master data, we talked about all the high level elements. Now we'll go a little bit deeper to understand a little bit better how the GL accounts are formed. So as I told you, the chart of account is the key. That is the organizational element that carries all the GL accounts, thousands of GL accounts. So when we are talking about GL accounts, there are few elements related to GL. One is the GL account groups. So all these 1,000 GL accounts, we can have a small groups. So there is a reason for grouping the GL accounts. So I will tell you there are 9 different groups available by standard SAP provided groups. So that we need to assign to each and every GL account so that we can identify that GL account is belongs to a certain group. And there is a purpose for that one also. I will explain that when it comes to the group. Now there is another element called type. So major type is like a balance sheet and P&L. When you identify the general ledger, you need to tell the system this particular number, this GL account is belongs to a balance sheet. Even in that one is like asset related or liability related, and or in the P&L it is a expenses related or profit related. So those kind of types, the group is one and the type is another one. Both are required to form your GL accounts. So when I create a GL account master data, I need to specify this particular GL master is belongs to a particular group and it belongs to a particular type. So that is a key. So when we create a master data, then again there are two kinds of cost elements. So when I create a GL account, as I told you, we are going to use your GL accounts for your internal reporting too. So you are going to create these GL accounts and use it, and then finally you will be getting the financial statement. That is for the external purpose. Your balance sheet and profit and loss account is for the external purpose. Apart from that, you will be using your transactions, you will be using your financial data for your internal reporting. For that, we call it as a cost element. We the same information, same master data, in the internal side, we call it as a cost element. So when I'm talking about controlling, finance and controlling, that is what we are going to learn. Finance is using the GL account, and the same thing it is used in the controlling, internal management reporting. We call it as a cost element. So when it comes to the cost element, there are two kinds of cost elements. Here you have a group, type, all those things for master data of GL. When it comes to the internal, the same thing, same GL account called as a cost element, but there are two different kinds of cost elements. One is like a operating GLs. All your operating GLs, we call it as a cost element. I will let you know what is operating and what is non-operating when it comes to the system definition. For now, it's okay. So the cost element is two parts, two different kinds. One is primary and then another one is a secondary. So you will see what is this difference when it comes to the proper controlling side. For now, understand there are two kinds of cost elements available. Okay. So I think everybody on mute. No problem. Okay. So this is what we discussed, the chart of account and GL accounts. And I will like to show you in the system. So as I told you, there are 9 different group available when you create the GL accounts. So each group is for a reason. So the group 1 is like a fixed assets account. All the GL accounts related to fixed assets, we group it under this particular account group. And all the income statement accounts, we group it into the number 2. Like that, there are different kinds of GL accounts for different purposes. We grouped it as a different grouping. So when we create the GL account, I will explain what is the recon account. So this is the set of GL accounts used for connecting to a sub modules. When it comes to ARIP, I will explain. For now, at least understand there are different groups of GL accounts are available, and some groups are for connecting to another sub modules. Understand up to that level for now. When we are using it, you will be appreciating the purpose of these groups very well. So for now, understand GL has different groups inside the GL master data structure. Understand only up to that level for now. So these are the groups. So we can, this is a chart of account. Underneath one chart of account, we can have multiple groups. These are the groups. And each group will carry with a different number ranges so that you can quickly identify. So the fixed assets all start with one series like a 1000 to 1999, something like that. We can have a different range of GL accounts so that we can identify each group where it belongs. So that is another way of grouping the GL accounts by number range. So we can have the number range like this. This is an example. Or the assets, this number, liabilities, this number, equities, this number, like that. You can have, I just gave you one example. So like that, you can have different ranges so that the group will be identified easily and no overlapping, no issues when it comes to the ranges. So this is one of the screenshot just to see the general overview of the GL account. So we can see how it is used, where it is used. It's like a single dashboard kind of things for GLs. So this is a dashboard. We can just go in deep, and this is like a report kind of thing. So you can see all the GL accounts like this. So see here 1013 GL accounts in this chart of account. The chart of account is YCOA. YCOA is a standard SAP provided chart of account. It's all like a pre-built. So you can use as is. Or if you don't like some of the GL accounts, or if you are not using it, you can discontinue or you can delete it. And then you can clean up or you can rename it, or you can add additional GL accounts, then form the chart of account. So that is our one of the exercise. And so as I told you, there's a different types. The balance sheet item, P&L item, like that. And then there will be different groups. So for each GL account will carry a type and group. Then the GL account will be listed like this. This is how the chart of account will look. Yes, please. You have any question?
Yes.
Yeah, please.
Actually, why I want to know why SAP is important for a business and how it can, benefit a business. What are the uses of SAP?
Excellent question. So SAP is a very robust, integrated software. When we implement for the larger organizations, they can live with one single software to function the entire business, not only just a finance. Say, for example, if the small companies they are using QuickBooks, that is only for finance, or maybe some trading business, that's okay. But when it comes to the bigger organization like Abbott or
Sorry,
AbbVie,
your voice was not audible.
okay, I'll repeat again.
Sure.
The larger organizations, they wanted to function the entire business in one single software. It's like we call it as a single source of truth. That is how the S/4HANA works. The single source of truth. What it means, one single software handles the entire business process end to end. Start from your manufacturing and distribution, your purchase, your sales, your finance, and your internal management and external reporting and individual legal entity level reporting or consolidated reporting. Even when it comes to the reporting for different purpose, like a one kind of report for IFRS another kind of report for US GAAP or local authorities using different parallel ledgers. So all these are built in one single software. So that is the beauty of SAP.
Okay.
None
And
other, none other software in the world has a feature like what we have it in SAP.
okay, so this is for the larger organizations and all. But what about the mid-sized business SMEs, like the
Yeah, SAP now the S4 HANA, they launched the pre-built. It's like a pre-configured system through a cloud for SMEs. Even we are getting a lot of working opportunities for those kind of implementations too. Even though it is a pre-configured system and launched it through a cloud platform, and the small companies don't have to install it locally. They can buy the cloud software because it is sitting in the cloud platform provided by SAP, or there are main cloud provider like a Google, Microsoft,
like
Amazon.
Amazon?
Amazon.
Yeah.
So they are all like a cloud providers for SAP. So people can go and buy cloud SME pre-configured system for different industries. So there is a pre-configured system for different industries available. For example, if it is a trading, there is a different configured system. If it is a chemical industry, different system. That is for limited um, functionality. You have a limitation for reconfiguring the system. There are a lot of limitations because it's in the cloud and it is a pre-configured system. But there are initial configuration. The setup is required. That is where the consultants are playing a role over there too. Even I did a couple of cloud-based implementations. So
Mhm.
even though it is a pre-configured, we have to customize some extent to the individual clients, and data
Or
conversion is required. So you need to
I-
load the initial mesh data for the client and initial setup and the initial open item conversions. Those kind of work is available for cloud platform too for SMEs.
okay,
So
sorry to
SAP,
interrupt.
yeah, SAP is two kind of SAPs. One is the on-premise, another one is a cloud. Cloud is mainly for, as you asked me the question, SME. That is mainly for SMEs.
Okay.
Okay, is this the answer to your question?
Yeah, and can I ask one more?
Sure, sure. Go ahead.
Sure. So when SMEs they reach out to a consultant for implementation of SAP,
Mhm.
what normally consultants charge them, as per the market standards?
See, it's again market demand and supply. Nowadays, currently, there are high demand. Uh, for now, the rate is like above $100 all the time. That is how
Mhm.
we are getting the um, resources. It's more than $100 for now.
For one implementation?
No, no, per hour. I'm talking
Oh,
about per hour.
okay, that's great. Thank you.
Okay. So I think I need to go back to the presentation. Okay. So this is the master data view, and this is how the individual master data will look like. So you will be creating the GL account number like this, specific to the company code, and this is the group and type. You can see there is a type and groups and all. Uh, can all of you mute by yourself, please? Hello? Can you guys mute by yourself, or I will mute it for all of you? Okay, muted. Very
I did by myself.
great. Okay, so this is how the master data will look like. So this is the master data. Then I'm going to give you the SAP access by today after the session is over. Then you will be seeing the real system, and I'm just for the academic purpose now I'm showing it in the screenshot. So you will be end up creating all those stuff by tomorrow onwards. Tomorrow we are going to do it in the system. All these whatever we are discussing, it is all like a just like a brainstorming for you today, and we are going to do all these in the system, and I will show it in the system by tomorrow session. So for now it is just like an introductory.
Okay.
So this is how the balance sheet will look like, all your P&L items and balance sheets. This again, it's structured based on your chart of account. So this is just an example I'm showing it to you. And cost elements, as I told you, this is again, it is a internal purpose. GL, we call it as a external, and internally we call it as a cost element. So when it comes to the system, you will understand really better than that. So cost elements is nothing but, so you can see all these cost elements, only the P&L items we create as a cost element, not the balance sheet items, because we need to have a control only for the cost items, not the balance sheet items. Because if there is a bank balance, what is the control? It is a bank balance, is bank balance, or any assets created, it's an asset. So we don't have any control, but cost elements are required to control your internal cost. For example, if salary, you have a control. So you can lay off somebody, then you can reduce the cost. Or revenue. So you can improve your sales and you can increase your revenue. And some rebates. You can even give some rebates to promote your business. Everything is like a controllable. That means internally, business can control those areas. We call it as a cost elements. In general, those also a general ledger for your external reporting purpose, for your financial statement. But when it comes to the internal, so wherever we can control, we call it as a cost element. So you will see this difference, and you will appreciate the purpose of cost element when it comes to the usage. For now, understand all the P&L items, all operating items, we create as a cost element for our internal reporting purpose. So we can have a different kind of groups. We can even create a groups like this, and underneath all the personal expenses related GL accounts or cost elements, we bring it under one group. So it's similar to the groups in general ledger. So we can even form a group here also. This is mainly for reporting purpose. That is for different purpose. The element for GL account, GL account group, that controls, that has more intelligence, but this is just a flexible reporting groups. So you can have a multiple groups for reporting. So we'll be creating the groups later on. So any questions as of now?
Um,
Yeah, please.
Yes, sir. Sir, as you are showing the cost element chart, like shall I understand like this, that these are different sub elements which are with the codes
It's not a sub element.
and which will be controlling the overall financial management of an organization?
Your half of understanding is good. Like you are talking about managerial accounting, that is good. If the cost elements are mainly for the managerial accounting, that is true. And it is not like a sub element. It is a one-to-one relationship with GLs. It is one-to-one relationship with the GL account. So we are getting all these entries. For example, there is a revenue element here. There is a 4-1 all zeros. This is called a revenue. In the same name, you can see it in the GL. There we call it as a GL. Here we call it as a cost element. It is a one-to-one relationship. So for internal
Yes, sir.
analysis
So
purpose,
that will be like,
yeah, go ahead.
okay, yeah. So there will be a standard format of
I'm not able to hear you fully. The last part is faded out.
what I'm saying, sir. Now I'm audible.
It is echoing. I think the two laptops you guys are having it closely. That's why echoing.
Yeah. Okay.
One
One
mute
second, sir.
one, and then talk in another one. So I think once we create and then once you see it in the system, you will have a better understanding. For now, understand cost element is for the internal controlling purpose. As you mentioned, it is for the managerial accounting. So the managerial accounting is required only for the operating GLs. That is where we call it as a cost element. Okay, understand in that way. This is nothing but a GL account,
Yes, sir.
and not all the GL accounts are part of your managerial accounting. So managerial accounting required only for operating GLs. So as I told you, fixed assets, liabilities, capital account, bank account, those GLs are balance sheet items. We don't have much managerial controlling over there. That is why we take only the operating GL accounts from the entire list of GLs and take it out, and then we create as a cost element along with the GL account. When I'm creating the GL account, I'm telling the system these are the GL accounts going to be part of managerial accounting.
Yeah, sir, that's what I was asking. Like, this is just a standard format. So for every project related to these SAP, every organization will have this kind of, but with some changes. Am I right?
Yes, yes, absolutely right. There will be some descriptional changes or some category changes, but 99% they adopt standard SAP best practice chart of account, because SAP
Ji.
spend lot of hours, lot of manpower, almost like a 45 years of their experience. The thousands and thousands of implementations. They formed the best practice chart of account fit for all industries. So better to use the best practice items as is from the SAP design than adopt it to the client. That is the best practice nowadays. Earlier it was in the build stage. Earlier there was a lot of things were growing even in the SAP side. Now it is fully matured. That is why nowadays SAP implementations are much easier for the consultants. So we can you see nowadays, earlier for each implementation takes a couple of years. Nowadays, like within 6 months, we are able to complete the one project, and it is easier for us also, and easier for the client also, so that we will be getting more opportunities. Everybody is interested in going for SAP nowadays. That is another business opportunity as well as the consulting opportunity.